Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. A new week and probably and hopefully the week where Juventus will finally announce a player. Who will it be? Who will we start with? Paul Pogba or Angel Di Maria? We will have to wait a bit more. Why? Because normally, according to the rumors, and we will discuss about that in the video, 72 hours from now on for one of both players to take a decision and hopefully make it official. Guys, we will speak about that in the video. We'll also speak about 6 possible names to become the vice Vlahovic with pros and contras. A lot of things to discuss about, so start the week making yourself a pleasure, putting a maximum of likes, subscribing to the channel if you want that Juve community to become bigger and bigger and bigger with infos about Juventus, with entertainment about Juventus. Make it a quite positive and nice channel to speak about everything regarding our beloved Juventus. We start immediately after the video. Juventini of the world, before entering on the papers, Tuttosport, Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport and much more, I want to ask you to do it right away before starting watching the video. You have a link into the description that will redirect you immediately to the best app to remain up to date everything regarding football, not only Juve. It is OneFootball for free on iOS and on Android. Do it now with the link into the description. But also, if you want to try something really nice, try it with the QR code. It's up to you, but do it because we have a lot of news. We are entering in the hot phase of the Mercato. Finally, we can say that Mercato is crazy. We start with Tuttosport. Tuttosport, we say, questi due subito. These two, finally, immediately, now. It is the moment because we waited for too long. I know that we started to be impatient. Paul Pogba, Di Maria, they start. And I will start with the news that during the weekend, I know that a lot of us, we were not even working, but Cherubini was there at the Continassa and he was not alone because he was with Massimiliano Allegri, not to talk about future plans and so on, because these are already done, these kind of meetings. No, they wanted to do a recap, a kind of update of the Mercato like we did yesterday during nearly 2 hours in an afternoon live to speak about where are the things going, to understand the truth and where we need to accelerate. Cherubini spoke about the 2 ones that were blocked, Paul Pogba, Di Maria, of course. He spoke about some alternatives as well. What if one of both is not working? What about the center defender, and so on and so on. A beautiful thing, and what I really appreciate is that this time more than ever there is an alignment between the management, Juventus, and the coach Massimiliano Allegri. This is super important if we are looking at the future team 22-23 to make sure that Allegri is happy and that he knows what team he will have on July the 4th, because we need to accelerate the movement if we want to be ready towards mid of August when Serie A will restart. You know that Allegri asked for some experienced instant players. That's why we have the names of Pogba and Di Maria that are really close to have Juve. They are aligned. They also spoke about the B plans like Kostic and so on. Let's see, but the countdown just started. Con l'ingresso di Pogba il centrocampo di Max diventa formato gigante. We know that it's not only instant players that Massimiliano Allegri required and requested to Juventus, but also some muscular players, some physical players with experience in the midfield. And if we are looking at Paul Pogba entering that midfield of Juve, what can we see except of the youngsters like Miretti, Fagioli, where we will have to take a decision, Rovella and so on, that we have some really tall players. Paul Pogba together with Zakaria, both in January market from Borussia Mönchengladbach, but also Locatelli, that is not that short, is 185, Paul Pogba and Zakaria 190. I'm sorry guys for the US people and US Juventini, I don't know what it means in foot. You can check it on Google, it's quite easy. Otherwise you have Adrien Rabiot, that is 188, also him, muscular player, big player, some players that are not that much injured and that can bring some physicality to the team. These players are called the Giants. The big question mark is what about Adrien Rabiot, because OneFootball is reporting reporting two different news. One, that UK market, Premier League market, is on the player. Newcastle, Manchester United, they are in talk with Juventus and with Véronique Rabiot, the mother of our French midfielder. What about that? They are proposing some offers. Apparently, according to the One Football and Tribal Football that is reporting that news, Juventus would be happy with 15 million euro. 15 million euro, that will be all profit, because you remember that we bought Adrien Rabiot for free transfer from Paris Saint-Germain. Speaking about Paris Saint-Germain, that's the second news of One Football. The agent, so the mother of Adrien, is trying to orchestrate a plan to have Adrien Rabiot back to his youth team, Paris Saint-Germain. Why? Because we know that they had not a really great contacts with Leonardo. Leonardo, about to leave Paris Saint-Germain, will be replaced by new sportive director, and that's why Paris Saint-Germain is also interested on the player. Why? Because we know that he made part of the youth team, so he could enter the Champions League list without taking a slot and making sure that the list of players available to play the Champions League for Paris Saint-Germain is bigger and bigger and bigger. What about Manchester United? Losing Paul Pogba for free, losing Matthijs that will go to Roma also for free. They need someone that is maybe a bit less creative, a bit less number 10, but one that is able to also help and support the defensive phase. And Ten Hag is not against it. It's not over, guys. I told you we have a lot of things to discuss. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Leao. Who cares at the moment? They are also speaking about Matthijs de Ligt. You know that Matthijs de Ligt yesterday, he was on all pages, on all social media after his interview in NOS, the Dutch television. De Ligt, he said, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, I need to understand the right moment to decide if I will renew or not. These are the words of Gazzetta dello Sport that we know it's not really a Juve-linked paper, so they are pushing the narrative of the negative things. You know, the people that are seeing everything negative, they are pushing towards these kind of words said by De Ligt, of course. The good news here is that we see also that Angel Di Maria has 72 hours to decide if he will become a Juve player or not. The proposition, the contract has been sent to Di Maria. Let's see what he will say. Cherubini, he reassured also Allegri about the motivation of our Argentinian player, that he's motivated to play at least one big year in Europe, pre-World Cup and after World Cup. So they reassured Allegri, but continue with Matthijs de Ligt, because then you see the other part, Tuttosport, that is a bit more linked to Juve, that is highlighting the positivity of Matthijs de Ligt. Because in the long interview, and I understand Dutch, so I listen to the words, you can see the negative part, but also the positive. Tuttosport is choosing with the positive, saying that there is a pact between Juve and de Ligt, Juve making him the leader, finally the real leader of the defense, even more than Bonucci. He will be there to command the defensive line. They want to do better than the fourth consecutive spot, because this is not at the level of Juventus, not at the level of Matthijs de Ligt. They want to go for it. They believe in positivity. They believe in competitivity. He spoke as a real leader. Yes, it's true. He also mentioned the fact that if things are not going better in the future for him, but also for Juventus, maybe he might look somewhere else. No worry about that. There is no shocking news. Words of Matthijs de Ligt that he always said, and that's also the Dutch mentality. Dutch mentality is you go face to face and you say what you are thinking. I appreciated the words of Matthijs de Ligt. Speaking about winner mentality, because that's maybe something that we lacked and that we missed in the previous seasons, that winning fino mentality, not accepting to lose, not entering the field being like, let's see what will happen. De Ligt has that mentality, but also Paul Pogba, that yesterday on TF1, Téléfoot, a really nice thing on television, on French television. He spoke about his life. He didn't mention where he would go on transfer. He didn't speak about Juventus because he spoke about himself, about the youth, about all these kind of things. And at a certain moment, he also said that his father, that unfortunately passed away in 2017, he educated him in being a winner. When Paul Pogba, when he was a kid, entered home and he said, I scored a goal today, his father was pushing him, saying it, well, only one goal, I expected you to score at least 2 or 3. You know, these kind of cultures where it's never enough to accept average things. You need to do better, and that's why Paul Pogba said, I hate losing. I always want to be the best, but also I want the best for myself, my career, and the team I'm playing with. We continue with the other news, my friends, because Corriere dello Sport is speaking about Gnonto. We know the new big phenomenon, the one that is on everyone's mouth after his few minutes with Italy. I'm sorry. We know that Gnonto is now on all front pages. One reflection about that, even if I really like the player, really young player, really nice, and he started at Inter with the youth team, I'm asking myself, but all these expert journalists and so on, where were they a few years ago when Gnonto was doing really well with the young academy of Inter? It's really strange, because it's like, you know, we discovered finally Gnonto, even if he's already doing super well with his team at the moment and so on. Really strange. I think it's really strange. I can accept it from some fans that do not know all the youth teams, but from experts, they should have anticipated Gnonto being there, and also linking it with all the teams, because apparently there is Sassuolo, Fiorentina, Monza that are now attracted on the player. If they were a bit smarter, if they had a really great scout academy, maybe they would have been on the player a bit more early. Pay attention, because we finish with another news, an important news that I already anticipated before the intro, the 6th Vice Vlahovic. Federico Chiesa will not be a Vice Vlahovic. We just need to understand when he will be ready to enter the pitch again. One thing is sure, he said no to holiday. He will not go on holiday. He will remain at Continassa to train. Yesterday he trained as well. He will not go on holiday, to be ready as soon as possible. Without pressure, but as soon as possible. And that's what we hope, because Vlahovic will be there alone in the beginning of the season. Who can be the Vice Vlahovic? There are 6 names. Gabriel Jesus, Raspadori, Simeone, new entry, Luis Muriel that is always there, that could leave for not a lot of money from Atalanta. We have Arnautovic and Timo Werner. Of course, there are some players that have more possibilities. The question, I was reading also the comments from Carlos Valdez on the channel, who said Gabriel Jesus being a Vice Vlahovic would make no sense, because he's costing a lot of money, apparently, according to some rumors, around 50 million. Pep Guardiola, after the arrival of Holland, would let him go finally, but 50-60 million is really a lot for a Vice Vlahovic. So if Juventus would go with a miracle, it's really strange, but if they would really go and push for Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel would be not a Vice Vlahovic, but we would find a way to play him together with Vlahovic. Raspadori, young Italian player, could have the time to enter. Being a Vice Vlahovic, I don't know, but complementary. On the other side, you have these players like Simeone, Arnautovic, that has the same characteristic, more or less, than a Vlahovic. Also Timo Werner, but also there a lot of money. So who will it be? We don't know at the moment. Juventus is trying to find the best fit in terms of physicality, characteristics, experience, but also financially. We will have to monitor that situation, but only after we sign Pogba and or maybe Di Maria. Finishing with the defense, because this is something we have to do. At the moment, it's still stagnating and no news about the left back. I know, Juventini and myself, we start to be really scared. Will something happen on the left side of the field? Something that we are praying for since so long. Let's wait. First, they will try to work on the center backs, because they are also still linked with Koulibaly. We know that if we want to make De Ligt's dream to have a top team in a 1 or 2 years ready, we have to think about putting him a name next to him, because Bonucci will not be able to play 50 games again, and playing with Rugani is maybe not the best solution, and that's why they are looking for maybe a Koulibaly. Quadrado to Roma. Pay attention to Roma. Roma is doing a real great mercato. They are really smart. That win in Conference League will boost them in terms of confidence. Pay attention, because Roma can be one that can pretend to enter the top 4. If they go with Quadrado, mamma mia, pay attention. Even if Quadrado at the moment, pay attention. We spoke about it yesterday in the video, in the live. At the moment, he's a Juve player and he will probably remain so. Thank you for following the channel. A lot of news today. I hope you appreciate it. So put a maximum of like, subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.